Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome to Leisure Gaming. I am Leisure. Today I bring to you a deck that could possibly be the new toxic deck that could ruin Master Duel, Runick's. All the Runick cards have the same secondary effect outside of the field spell and outside of the continuous spell that will allow you to summon one of your fusion monsters, and you must skip your next battle phase. This usually isn't a problem because your main win condition is to deck out your opponent, which I have yet to actually do. Most people are either going to surrender as soon as they see a Runick card played, or they know how Runick is played and they have their decks already set up for it. For example, my first play with Runick's was destroyed by a Valkyrie player using Swords of Concealing Light. I haven't seen that card in years, but that was literally my first duel after finishing this deck and playing it for the first time. So let's just jump right into the deck profile. To start off the deck profile, we have 3 Majesty's Fiends. Cannot be special summoned, neither player can activate monster effects. To get this out to the field, you would tribute one of your fusions that you would summon off of one of your Runick spells. I'm really thinking about dropping this because I feel like the fusions are a lot more important than this card, and this card tends to get beat over very easily. So I tend to just use it as fodder for either Huggins' ability or for Super Poly. We have 1 Terraforming, add 1 field spell from your deck to your hand. Running 2 Pot of Desires, where you can banish 10 cards from top of your deck and then draw 2. You're running 3 of almost every spell, so it will not hurt you to just banish 10 cards from the top of your deck. Just make sure that you do have a Runick Fountain in hand, which is your field spell, before you activate this, so that way you don't end up banishing all 3 by accident. Next are 3 Runick Fountain. You can activate Runick Quick Play spells on your opponent's turn. Once per turn, if you activate a Runick Quick Play spell, you can target up to 3 Runick Quick Play spells in your graveyard, place them on the bottom of the deck in any order, and then draw 3 of the same number of cards. This is not a hard once per turn. You can actually play a second Runick Fountain and activate that effect and then draw another 3. Next is 1 Runick Allure. Each time a quick play spell card activates, banish the top card of your opponent's deck. You can only control 1 Runick Allure, so that's why we're only running 1. Also, it is quick play spell, not just Runick, so that's any quick play like Super Poly or Call by the Grave, and this also counts for your opponent, so if they play a quick play spell, they still have to banish a card. Next are 2 Super Polymerizations, where you can discard 1 card and fusion summon 1 fusion monster from the extra deck. Your primary targets for this is going to be your Starving Venom Fusion Dragon and Predaplant Dragostopalia. Next are 2 Call by the Graves. Next are 3 Runick Tip. Add 1 Runick card from your deck to your hand except Runick Tip, then banish the top card of your opponent's deck. 3 Runick Flashing Fire. Target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls, destroy it, then banish 2 cards on the top of your opponent's deck. 3 Runick Destruction. Target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it, then banish 4 cards of the opponent's deck. 3 Runick Freezing Curses. Target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn, then banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. 3 Runick Slumber. Target 1 face-up monster on the field. The next time that monster will be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn, it is not destroyed. Also, it cannot attack this turn. Then, after applying this effect, banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Running 2 Runick Smiting Storms. You can definitely run this at 3 if you'd like. Banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck up to the number of cards they control. 2 Runick Golden Droplet. This is either 1 or 2. Your opponent draws 1 card, then you banish the top 4 cards of their deck. And Runick Dispelling, which I think you only need to have this at 1 because it seems pretty situational. If your opponent adds a card or cards from their deck to their hand, except during the draw phase, discard 1 random card from their hand, then banish 2 cards off the top of their deck. Going on into the traps, this is where the floodgates, and I think this is where a lot of the hate comes with this deck. 2 Rivalry Warlords. Each player can only control 1 type of monster, send all other face-up monsters they control to the graveyard. 2 Skill Drain. Activate this card by playing 1,000 life points, negate the effects of all face-up monsters while they are face-up on the field, but their effects can still be activated. And 2 Goes a Match. Each player can only control 1 attribute of monsters, send all other face-up monsters they control to the graveyard. Going on into the extra deck, we have 3 Huggin' the Runick Wings, and I definitely think you need 3 for this deck. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can discard 1 card, add 1 Runick field spell from your deck to your hand. If another card or cards you control will be destroyed by card effect, you can banish this card you control instead. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, return this card back to the extra deck. Just as a tip, if you have a full back row and someone plays Harpy's Feather Duster or Lightning Storm to clear out that back row, and you have a quick spell in your hand that allows you to summon Huggin, play that quick play spell, summon your Huggin, activate Huggin's ability, and your entire backfield will be protected because Huggin's ability isn't an active ability, it is a continuous effect. 1. Moonin the Runick Wings, which I'm thinking of putting this at 2. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can discard 1 card, add 1 Runick continuous spell from your deck to your hand, which is going to be your Runick Allure. It's the only continuous Runick card that you have. When your opponent activates a card effect or effect that targets a Runick card or cards you control, or a set card or cards you control, you can banish this card you control, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Once per turn during the end phase, gain 1,000 life points. That's on your end phase and your opponent's end phase. Running 3, Gary the Runick Fangs. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can target 1 non-quick play Runick spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand, so that's going to be your field spell primarily, or your Runick Allure. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. Of course, we have the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Like I said before, this is going to be coming off of your Super Poly. We have 1 Predaplanet Dragostopalia, also another Super Poly target. We have 1 Gravity Controller, cannot be used as Link material the turn this is Link Summon. This card in Extra Monster Zone cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster in the main monster zone. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster in the Extra Monster Zone, you can return both that opponent's monster and this card to the deck. We have 1 Nightmare Cerberus to pop your opponent's special summon monster, 1 Nightmare Phoenix to help clear out the backfield, 1 Barricade Board Blocker, and this will help bring back your Runick Fountain if it's in the graveyard. We have 1 Lina the Light Charmer, which will then be summoned off of your Majesty's Fiend, and 1 Fusion Monster, and 1 Dark the Dark Charmer, which will also be summoned off of one of your Runick Fusions, and then either your Dragostopalia or your Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. So that's it for the deck profile for Runicks. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. Also leave a comment below on your thoughts about Runicks. Are they going to ruin the game? Are you playing them? Would you play them? And I would love to hear from you. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Later.